So let's talk about the biggest news for today, and that is what Norman Reedus actually posted on Twitter. And so this definitely has really kind of blown up today for sure. Obviously, today is the last day for filming, and they're actually completely done now. I'll talk about that probably in a separate video, because for this one here, I do want to focus more on, I guess, kind of the drama. It's not really drama, but there's a lot of belief on like what this could actually mean and all that based off of his post. And yeah, that's kind of what is blowing up right now. So yeah, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all of my Walking Dead content like this. Now, Norman Reedus actually made a post earlier, I guess today. It was like, like midnight or like 1 o'clock or something like that last night. I didn't see it for a couple of hours. I was actually sleeping, and then I woke up to the news and I was kind of like, wait, what is this? Like, I didn't read the message of what he said as what it was, but a lot of what everyone's taking away from this is that he is done playing the character now. And so Norman Reedus made this post here, and the post says, last filming day today for Daryl Dixon. It's been such a joy for me to play this guy with all of you for this long. I feel really blessed, truly. Thank you all really from my heart. And so everyone took that as like, this is the last day, obviously, as him playing Daryl Dixon, and like that is going to be it. Like, it's the end of an era. And honestly, the post, like his post blew up entirely. And there's a lot of stuff like in the comment section here saying that like, oh wow, this is completely over now. Like, oh, we're not going to have Rick and Daryl, like they're not going to reunite or anything like that. And there's a lot of reaction about that. First of all, like, I think that that's the thing about it, and I'll just kind of say this really quick. It's not the end for Daryl. Like, I'll explain all of that in a second here, but this is definitely not the end. But it's so crazy. Like, the amount of people here that actually took this as like, he's saying goodbye, like this is it sort of thing, is kind of insane based off of what they've said about the future. Like, obviously they're not like confirming anything or like any of that, right? They're not coming out and confirming like there's going to be a new series and all that, but there's been a lot of hint at that. Like, they'd be asked questions like, is this the end for Daryl Dixon, like this season and all that? And a lot of the answers to that were like, well, this is the end to the European journey. And, they would hint at other stuff. Norman Reedus has talked about wanting to reunite with Andrew Lincoln if everything was right and the story was really good and this and that. Like, there was a lot there. And so my thoughts on what this means here is he's literally talking about the series. I think most people that are seeing this, because this is like 2.2 million views, like this post really blew up. And on Twitter, it was saying like Norman Reedus is like done, as Daryl Dixon after 15 years or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it said, but I was like, that's also wrong. Like, what he is saying here is it's the last filming day for Daryl Dixon, like the show. And I think he was just really emotional, posting this, because it's your spinoff show and it's like, it's coming to an end. It's the last day. And I could see how making a post like this, like, yeah, it's the last day for filming this show, not for the character, for the show, and just saying, like, it's been a joy for me to play this guy with all of you for this long. I feel really blessed, truly. Thank you all really from my heart. Like, I can see how he's just feeling so grateful and like everything's coming to an end. It's the last episode of his spinoff show. And so that's to me just all this is here. It's the last filming day for the show. And he's just, very thankful that, that he's been able to play the character for this long and everything like that. Like, nowhere here says like it's the end. I know some people are saying, well, it's when he says it's been such a joy for me to play this guy with all you for this long. I know how that can sound like a goodbye just in general, but it's like, it's not really a goodbye. Like, it's just more, I've been so like happy to be able to do this for that long. Like, it's the end of his spin-off series. Like, the character got his own spin-off series. It was 4 seasons. I would say it was decently successful for the most part compared to other shows. Honestly, I would say it's definitely a successful show, because I'm looking at, it's Welcome to Derry and their numbers, and Daryl Dixon had better numbers, at least according to cable numbers anyways. Obviously, streaming numbers, I have no idea. But in terms of cable numbers, the show has been doing better. So I do think that a lot of the reaction to this is kind of insane. And I see a lot of people saying things to me like, you're just having a hard time coping with this and this and that. Like, you just gotta let this go. Like, it's done now. He's done with the character. And I'm like, I really do not believe that's what he meant here. I think it really is that it's emotional. Like, it's the last day of filming. Like, you're in Spain and you're saying goodbye to this place and just like what this journey has been to make this show. And he obviously cares a lot about this show. I think he's an executive producer, I'm pretty sure, working on the stories with the characters, focusing on him. And obviously, like, Melissa McBride focusing on Carol. Just like, this is their spinoff. If the character's going to get a spinoff of his own to tell his own personal stories, it's this spinoff, right? So I can see how it's an emotional thing, and just, it's the end of something else here. And obviously with everything they've talked about, and even at a recent like press thing, AMC was saying something about like, they could also be on stage here in 15 years from now kind of thing. I don't know if that'll actually happen, but Andrew Lincoln just said like a month and a half ago, I think it was the end of September, but it could have been like the first week of October. It was somewhere around there that there's conversations happening right now about his return. And so like AMC, I think, is trying to plan out what is happening right now. Norman Reedus also confirmed like after that he's like, yeah, I can confirm that like Andrew Lincoln is talking about that kind of thing. Right. So obviously he kind of knows there's some kind of plan here happening. Like, I don't know where they're going. And that's kind of the one thing that I think all of us are in right now. We're all in that same place where it's like, where is the story going now? Is Daryl going to stay out there and just like drive around? Does he go back and Carol stays? Do they all go back? What's happening here with the ending? Like, we all really don't know. And it could be one of those things where Daryl's just out there, but maybe the next spinoff, maybe it's 3 or 4 seasons, but the first season is just Rick and like maybe he reunites with Morgan or there's some other story there, right? But eventually it builds to him finding Daryl. Like maybe that's sort of the point. Like AMC wants to have another spinoff where they get everyone together again. It's 4 seasons and it's like the final story. Just like this being 4 seasons and Dead City, I guess, is going to be 4 seasons. I'm assuming anyways, right? Like I could see that being what happens here. And I think it makes a lot of sense because then you could have like one season focusing on like some of these characters reuniting, right? Like the first season is Rick and Morgan, and then just Rick in general with other characters and building up another story. And then the second season, maybe Daryl shows up there, right? And the third season at that point, maybe Dead City's over. So Maggie and Negan could actually be on that show. And then it's just like the 4th season, it all comes to an end kind of thing. And it's the end for every character. Like everyone says goodbye all at the same time. And it has that much weight, right? I think everyone would love that. And so I actually did a poll here because I was just very curious. Like, that's how I took it. I just wanted to see if everyone else sort of took it the same way. And it seems like that is how everyone else took it as well. I just said, is Norman Reedus done as Daryl Dixon once season 4 of Daryl Dixon ends? And the results, as of right now anyways, there's 172 votes. It says yes, 21.5%, and no, 78.5%. And so everyone's just saying no. Like, no, this is obviously not the end. And so anyone who kind of has been following a lot of this stuff, especially if you're a follower or subscriber of this channel, then you obviously know like all the stuff that I talk about, right? Like whenever there's just like a small amount of information, just about anything, I talk about it, right? Just because it gives context to like what's happening behind the scenes. Obviously, we don't know anything fully, but it's just something to keep an eye on because we want to know what's happening next. And it seems like right now, it's just one of those things where we don't know, but based off of what they've said overall, AMC has been having conversations with Andrew Lincoln about returning, and Scott Gimple was there like, last month or earlier this month or something like that. I think that might have been last month, at his play or something like that. So they were probably talking about stuff there. Norman Reedus, confirmed that they were actually talking to Andrew Lincoln or whatever. He said that at Comic-Con or something, I think in Spain. Can't remember exactly where he said that though, but it was something like that anyways. And so it seems like right now they're in the planning phase of what is happening next, right? And so they're going to work on that here. They probably already have ideas. They probably already know kind of where they want to go, but just like to make it official and then announce it. And then the question is, when do you announce it? Do you announce it like early next year or like later on this year? Or do you wait until maybe like, after season 4 ends? Because, the timing of it could definitely be something that maybe you want to wait on, right? Like maybe you want to wait to see how this episode is going to end. And it really builds up that hype. Like this could be the end here. Like this might be the end of Daryl and Carol. And then they announce, that there's going to be actually a new spinoff here. And that's where Rick and Daryl are going to reunite. And it's going to build up all of this excitement and everything. That's kind of, that's what I'm wondering here. I think if you do announce it beforehand, it'll be exciting and stuff, but it does kind of ruin the final season here, right? And if this is marketed as like, this could be Daryl and Carol's like final season ever, a lot more people are going to watch. So that's kind of why I'm like, they might release this sooner, or I don't know. Filming also does play into this, because if they have to film this like next year, say it's later in the year or something like next summer, like they're going to have to start doing that, right? Because that show would come out in 2027 afterwards. If they have to film before the show comes out, like season 4, like they'll have to announce it, right? Like people are going to find out about it. So I think that's kind of the thing, is like, we don't really know what's going on. They might just wait with all of this for a while. and plan everything out here. But again, they could also just announce a new spinoff with Andrew Lincoln and have that come out in 2027, but maybe Daryl and Carol aren't a part of it yet, right? And that will be something that'll happen in like a season 2. And maybe the first season is just Morgan, right? Like, there's so many things that they can do. There's a lot, and I think they know that. Like, they've seen the criticisms of the spinoff so far. They know, and I don't think AMC is going to be like, all right, this is going to be the end. Like, literally, when you look at the post that Norman Reedus made, there's so many like sad posts about like, oh, we're never going to see Rick and Daryl reunite. Like, this is like horrible. The spinoff was for nothing, and people are so mad about it. So like, I also will say, I think this does confirm that Rick is not going to be in the final episode, because there's been some stuff about, you know, the filming schedule. I won't get into everything here in terms of spoilers, but I've heard that, you know, they filmed a lot of like episode 2 shots or something for like the final thing. And there might have been something for the final episode here, but I don't think Andrew Lincoln was there at all, because if he was, like, he's not a part of the celebrations or anything. Like, everyone's there that, you know, even if they ended filming beforehand, they're there, and it's just a big celebration stuff right now. So, you know, and the thing is too, like, the last 2 months, I don't know when the play started, if it was September or August or when it was, but he's been doing that play pretty much, I don't know if it was every day, but like, he was doing that play a lot. So I just don't think he had time to film anything for season 4. I really don't. And I also think that reunion would be very just like underwhelming if it happened like that. So I am pretty confident that Rick won't be here, and that this will be sort of marketed as like the end for Carol and Daryl, and we'll see sort of where this goes. It's definitely not the end. And we'll have to see how AMC plans to go forward with The Walking Dead and what they want to do next, because I mean, they could really go in a lot of really exciting directions, and that's sort of the excitement that we all had, right? When they announced that this was going to be the final season, we all knew that there was going to be so many opportunities now to actually reunite all the characters and, I mean, just tell a story there, right? So anyways, I'm going to leave it here, though. Overall, you know, this is definitely something that I think people are going to be talking about for the next, like, day or two. Like, it's going to be, I mean, probably longer than that, honestly, the next week. Like, this post absolutely blew up, and I'm happy that everyone is starting to see now a little bit more of that. It doesn't mean that it's the end. Like, I don't think he's saying it like that. He's just kind of saying, like, it's the last filming day today for Daryl Dixon. Like, the show, not the character, it's the show. And maybe not a lot of people know that the show's called that. Like, you know, I could see how if you're reading that as like, oh, it's the last filming day for the character, then I get it, because then it's kind of like a goodbye, right? But if it's just for the show, he's just kind of saying that. They've already been talking about stuff all summer for the last couple months about like what could be happening next and everything. So yeah, don't worry about that. Like, I'm very, very confident that they will be doing something else next. I just don't know what it's going to be. At this point, I think we can rule out The Ones Who Live season 2. I think it's going to be a new series. I just don't know what it's going to be entirely. And I do want to do a video talking about that actually as well, like The Walking Dead season 12, because I actually want to talk about the lawsuit that was apparently, or that is happening with Fear the Walking Dead. I guess their old showrunner, Dave Erickson. And there's some stuff here in this article that I want to get into. And I do wonder if like they have to pay maybe, you know, Frank Darabont, you know, stuff from like the spinoffs as well. Like, maybe it doesn't really matter what they do with the characters, just the fact that the characters were created here. Like, I don't know if ending, you know, The Walking Dead with season 11 was why they had to do it there. Like, I don't know. I'll get into that in a different video though. But anyways, post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.